Tripp Mickle of the New York Times has a remarkable story out today that talks about how the tech industry has been lax in considering the very real prospects of China eventually invading Taiwan and cutting off its chip exports, and as a result, crippling the US economy. Taiwan makes 90% of the world's high end computer chips used in everything from mobile phones to cars and everything else in between. Cutting off the supply of chips to the West generally and the United States particularly, or at least making it severely conditional in a way that fundamentally alters the West's approach to the rest of the world, would be perhaps the most powerful weapon in China's hands should it annex Taiwan. The Times story says that despite warnings, threats, and subsidies for the last 4 years or so, the tech industry giants have not paid much attention, driven as they are by high profits, aided by competitively priced Taiwanese chips. Making them in America, some of which is happening, has become a challenge given that the costs here are some 25% higher than those in Taiwan. By fairly simple deductive logic, whether this profoundly defining scenario for the world does unfold comes down to one man, China's President Xi Jinping, who has concentrated so much military power in himself since he took over in 2012. He has carried out a series of military purges and reshuffles in the past 2.5 years to ensure that his authority over the People's Liberation Army is untrammeled. Experts have said that the military purges have the effect of at least temporarily reducing China's appetite to launch a major war, such as one to take over Taiwan, but it is most certainly not off the table. I had recently spoken about the very subject to Professor Wen Ko, a well known Taiwanese observer affiliated with the Department of Political Science and Graduate Institute of East Asian Studies at the National Chengchi University in Taipei. This is what he told me about China taking over Taiwan. Now I want to come to the central point of our conversation, which triggered this interview, is your rather interesting comment that these frequent purges and reshuffles have the effect of reducing the risk of China or the Communist Party waging a major war, which would also include, obviously, Taiwan. Expand a bit on that.
Yeah. Well, due to the massive purge of the PLA high command by Xi over the past 2.5 years, there is currently a temporary, I would like to emphasize, temporary reduction in the likelihood of the CCP's initiating a major war.
I see.
It's temporary.